Welcome inside the Sudbury Community Arena. It is Sudbury Saturday night. Some basketball between the Sudbury Five and the London Lightning. Nick Liard, as always, joined by Rick Wyman. And tonight, maybe the question is, can the Sudbury Five snap the two-game losing streak? Can the London Lightning continue their two-game winning streak? But I think the bigger question for fans coming into the Sudbury Arena is, will head coach Logan Stutz play tonight as a player coach?
Well, you bring up some interesting questions, Nick, and of course, we've got the answers over the course of the next 2 hours or so. We'll talk about the coach, we'll talk about both teams, and Sudbury, more importantly, their inability to play 4 quarters of basketball. That hurt them on the road. Exhaustion, a short bench, several factors came into play. We'll see what transpires on the court this evening against the division leaders and a pretty tough team on the road.
Well, head coach Logan Stutz did play against the Halifax Hurricanes on Thursday. Let's check out some of the highlights from that game.
Sudbury 5 in Halifax to take on the Hurricanes, and we'll start with Brady Skeens muscling his way inside the paint to get the bucket. And now enter number 17, your head coach, Logan Stutz. He'll get fouled and go to the line. He'll knock down the first one. The former NBLC MVP. He'll finish a perfect 2 for 2. He played a total of 2 minutes into this contest. Way to go, Logan. To the third quarter we go. It's all Braylon Rayson as he caught fire in this one. He had 21 points in the third quarter alone to go on to finish with 41 on the night. As the Sudbury Five, they'll get the lead momentarily, but in the fourth quarter, that's when Halifax will start to run away with this one. They'll finish the game 137 to 118. Your final. Now the Five will look to regroup this Saturday as they are back at home against the London Lightning.
Yeah, tough one to lose for the Sudbury Five. As you saw for most of the game, they did lead against the Halifax Hurricanes. Let it slip away at the end. Braylon Rayson with 41 points. And you saw in the video that head coach Logan Stutz did get in, played 2 minutes, and had 2 points, both of them from the free throw line. But tonight he won't be playing, at least to start.
Well, I guess the perhaps the most comforting aspect about Logan's play on Thursday night in Halifax, no bricks from the foul line, and that's always a good thing. Have to point out what Logan said in the post-game scrum. Talked about the team, about fatigue, short bench, excuses, maybe, but he also indicated too that in order for this Five team to win, and we've talked about this over the course of regular season play, and it's no secret, Nick, that the Five have to play consistently for 4 quarters. He said you can't play 2, you can't play 3 in this league because sometimes even the talented teams like Halifax or even Moncton on the road, very tough teams in their own building, like London will be here in this building tonight, where a full 48-minute game is necessary just in terms of being able to go out there with that all-out effort and being able to put it together.
Well, before we start this game, let's see what both teams had to say before this one. We have some interviews to show you.
I think we let that one slide. You know, Skeet hit 2 big shots in the end, 2 threes that really changed the game, but it's one that we believe that we beat ourselves with it, so we're coming to look to win this game. To stop them shooting threes. We know they like shooting threes all day. They don't really like to score inside, so we're just going to stop them at the 3-point line. That's about it. Not about them, but when we're in the court, we don't like to think too much. We just run them out the 3-point line, and the same thing as Bland as well. We just stay solid, making what we're doing.
We've been missing home court for sure. We haven't had a lot of home games. The fans are great. The city's wonderful. We're excited to be home a lot in March. We were able to hit some shots down the stretch and close out down the stretch. I hope we can be in a better position in the fourth quarter, but whatever it takes to win a game, that's what we got to find a way to do. You know, the game's fast and it's strong. I mean, I haven't kept up in the best shape, but it was awesome to get out there. I mean, it was the guy's idea to kind of activate me. If I can help, I got to go out there and help. And you know, for that small couple of minutes, it was fun to be out there with him. I'm going to say no. No possibility I'll be in action tonight. Sorry about that.
And the Sudbury Five, as you hear from head coach Logan Stutz, looking to get back into the win column. They've lost 2 straight after a pretty good February, and they're trying to catch the London Lightning. The London Lightning are 14-7, first in the Central Division and second overall in the league record. The Sudbury Five at 11-9, right behind them. These games are huge. You take care of home court advantage, and it goes a long way.
Well, it could have been 0 for 3 on the road because they needed overtime to pull out a tough one on the island in Charlottetown. And Jalen Bland lit it up that night with 46 points to pull out the victory. So a big win for the Five. Heading into Moncton, always a difficult place to play against the Magic. I thought maybe a victory in Halifax would have been possible, but having read the post-game write-up, according to Ben Leeson, his comments from Coach Logan Stutz, a tired team, a team that was beaten down, and sometimes being on the road, even though you do have a couple of days off, can make a big difference. And of course, playing shorthanded, sometimes you need that bench. And if your bench doesn't come through, how many times have we talked about that, Nick? Your bench has got to be able to come through, because sometimes your Braylon Raysons, your Jalen Blands just can't do it all by themselves.
Yeah, well, they won't be going too deep into their bench here tonight because, well, they don't really have a deep bench. 9 players dressed for the Sudbury Five, and as Sudbury native George Ceres is making a start tonight, as we just heard a loud ovation behind us, and so he is making the start for the Sudbury Five, and as I mentioned, just 4 players on the bench, so these starters are going to play some heavy minutes. You see Dexter Williams Jr. in the background there. He is dressed, but didn't play on Thursday. He's a little banged up, so they're going through illness, they're going through some injuries, and so head coach Logan Stutz won't play to start. He's in a suit, but you never know at halftime what might transpire.
Well, they've got a 2-game lead right now on Windsor in terms of the standings, and Kitchener-Waterloo even 2 games back, so 4-game lead on Kitchener-Waterloo. So they do have a bit of a cushion right now with a couple of games on Windsor. And of course, they're trying to catch up to London. They're 3 wins behind the Lightning. So tonight, a pivotal contest for both.
And London, they've got some size. They do fundamental basketball really well. They limit your field goal percentage. They're great at moving the ball. They move it around. They've got players like Xavier Moon, who's playing at an MVP-like level, 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And then you have a guy like A.J. Gaines, who's averaging 17 points a game off the bench. This is a guy who's 3rd, I believe, in rebounds at 8.2 per game off the bench. He's a guy who's a spark plug. He'll come in, he'll throw it down, he can beat you inside, outside. So London is dangerous. There's a reason why this team is in first place in their division.
And let's not forget, Nick, too, I mean, the last time the Lightning played in here, I mean, it was a close game. That could have gone either way. I mean, it's just one of those things. They've got the veteran experience, and when these guys come to play, they can light it up on specific occasions. And right now, they want to pounce on the Five, because the Five right now are kind of tired, kind of beaten up with a short bench. So it's up to the five players anyways to provide that resistance tonight and dig deep. They've got to dig deep for this one, because this is a huge game for both teams.
Yeah, this is the 4th matchup between these 2 teams this season. The London Lightning are 2-1 versus the Sudbury Five and 1-0 in Sudbury's building. But the final scores, if you tally up all 3 games, the Lightning are only outscoring the Sudbury Five 357 to 351. So all 3 of the matchups have been very close and pretty high scoring as well. If you look at one of the positives maybe is when London was in town and beat the Sudbury Five, Jalen Bland had just 2 points. The low of probably both years that he's been here in Sudbury, and for sure this season. So Jalen Bland pick it up. They had the game in control, but just lost it in the 4th quarter, which is something that we've seen a couple times this season. We'll see how this one goes as we are underway in Greater Sudbury. The Lightning versus the Five, and Xavier Moon has the ball to start us off. Phillips inside. Forte, one of the new additions for the Lightning, goes right in, left hand, no good, but he goes to the free throw line.
And look for the Five to come out strong. This is what they did the other night when they played Halifax, and I expect more of the same for the Five to try and get a good jump on this London team, because they can't be sluggish, they can't be slow, because London will certainly capitalize on that very quickly.
Now Cameron Forte at the free throw line from Arizona, went to Portland State, and in 2 games with the Lightning is averaging 28 points per game. Watching some of his film, he's one of those prototypical guys who will do pretty much everything for you. Go inside, outside, handles the ball on the fast break a lot, and can really score. He's smooth with it when he takes it to the cup, and he's pretty good at backing you down as well. So a player to watch out for throughout this game, and right now he's guarding J.R. Holder. We do have an off-ball foul. It'll go against the Lightning, and the Sudbury Five will retain possession.
Break for Sudbury as Braylon Rayson was trying to orchestrate the offense there, so they'll take that.
Here's Racing into Bland. A look at a three. It's short. George Ceres making the start, gets the rebound. Racing, the little pull-up, and the jimmy is good.
Well, George Ceres with the key play. He was really quick on the ball, and that's what he's got to do throughout the course of this game.
Xavier Moon with the ball now at the top. Gets a double screen from Forte and Phillips. Looking for Capers. Good defense from the Sudbury 5. Forcing them out high. Here's Forte, as I was mentioning. He can back you down and is left-handed, so he goes back to the strong hand and is able to finish it.
We'll see what Ceres can do on defense. He's up against Randy Phillips in that one-on-one situation just prior to the basket. Let's see if he can contain the big guy.
Well, we talked about the Sudbury 5 being short-handed, and mostly short-handed in terms of the height category, as they don't have too much size with the loss of Carl Lewis and a couple of injuries. J.R. Holder, I believe, is the tallest member of the Sudbury 5 on the roster playing right now. There's Braylon Racing, a 5-4-3.
And that's what they need. 41 points the other night against Halifax. He's off to a good start.
Marcus Capers now looking inside to Phillips. Phillips backing down on J.R. Holder. Holder gets the rebound tip to Braylon Racing, and Sudbury 5 possession. Good crowd on hand here in Sudbury for a Saturday night game. Braylon Racing, and a nice tip in there. Brady Skeens, he's doing work on the offensive glass.
Getting inside and making sure he got his hand on the ball, and that's what he's got to do.
Tyrell Green comes right back the other way with the shot. Tyrell Green from Toronto, but playing 4 years at the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, UNLV. Here's Xavier Moon over the timeline after the missed shot by the Sudbury 5. Moon trying to get and draw contact, can't, and a rebound goes to the Sudbury 5. It's J.R. Holder looking for a little bit of help. Here's Braylon Racing, the cross-court fine. George Ceres setting up in the corner, the office, and it's good.
And Sudbury likes that one from number 9. George Ceres getting an opportunity here, a big one for the 5, starting and scoring early.
You got to come ready to play, and Ceres inserted into the starting lineup for the first time this season. And good defense the other way on Forte. Bounce pass, trying to thread the needle. It's going to go off the Lightning, out of bounds, and stay with Sudbury as Bland trying to find Skeens on the fast break.
Just beyond reach of Skeens, and the 5 will inbound the ball, getting the start that they need in this game against London. Up by 5 early in the game.
Racing the step back 3. Oh my goodness, right in the face.
This could be contagious if he can continue to light it up for the Sudbury 5. Off to a great start so far.
Forte doing a good job at drawing some contact there. He'll head to the free throw line.
And what did we say, Nick, earlier on in the season about Braylon Racing as opposed to Jalen Bland taking control and taking charge scoring in terms of this team? He struggled at times, appears to be heating up when it counts, heading into, I guess, what you can call the stretch run of the season schedule.
Well, he's averaging 27 points a game in his last 4 games. He's really picked up the scoring, but at the same time, he's second in assists at 7 per game. And a quick sub as Dexter Williams Jr. comes in for Ceres, and then Ceres comes back in for Brady Skeens. You'll probably see some shorter shifts for the Sudbury 5, trying to get in that bench and mix it around again. Just 4 players on the bench are dressed. Head coach Logan Stutt signed and activated this week as a player coach. Is not going to be playing here tonight unless an emergency situation arises.
Does he get extra money for that?
I would hope so. You would like to think so. Double the salary.
Double the responsibility.
Yes. But he's a guy, we talked about it. It's not like he is, a David Ayers situation where he is completely out of the game. He retired from playing in this league in 2018, so he's just 2 years removed from his playing days, and I'm sure mixes into it with his players in practice all the time. So it's not like he's going to be out of position if he does play. Just got in 2 minutes against Halifax. There's Jalen Bland, queued up.
And speaking of David Ayers, he was dressed up in lacrosse goalie gear today. His wife tweeted out that picture.
A multi-sport athlete. Don't limit your kids to one sport. There's Cameron Forte, pass out to Capers. Xavier Moon, shot, it's good. Boy, he's been good.
Nothing but net for Xavier Moon on that one. A heavy veteran presence in this London lineup. They can strike quickly.
And look at that move from Braylon Rayson down the hall to the left. Enjoy the show. It's theater number 2.
He split the seam. Tyrell Green and Randy Phillips.
And there we go, Cameron Forte. Just the fundamental moves from him. Started his NCAA career at a community college, then went to Georgia, played sporadically, and for his senior season transferred to Portland State, where he just went off 19 points a game.
Holder with the recipient of that foul, so Rayson will inbound for Sudbury, up by 7 points here. Holder's got to heat it up as well. He's one guy that he's got to start drawing more consistency in his game.
Jalen Bland, shot clock below 10. Bland going one-on-one, finds Braylon Rayson, 5 on the shot clock. Rayson draws a double team, the scoop, and it just misses, but what a play by Braylon Rayson.
Off to a great start in tonight's game, some tremendous athleticism.
Forte back into the paint of the Sudbury 5 doing work. Here's J.R. Holder, goes past the defender and gets fouled, met at the rim, but what a take by Holder.
That could have been 3 on that one. Tough break.
It was crashing into our camera guy. Hope he's okay.
I think Terry's okay. I think Terry Reeves okay.
Yeah, Terry's a tough guy. In fact, we should check on the London Lightning player to make sure he's okay.
Well, Terry's referee in the Greater Sudbury Officials Association, so I think he can handle himself at this point.
Shot from J.R. Holder is good.
Remember earlier on how we saw some spurts from J.R. Holder where he would just be able to turn it on and be electric in games, and all of a sudden there would be that tranquility in his play. And I'd like to see more of that proactive approach to his game.
Well, he has been pretty consistent beyond the arc for the Sudbury 5 this season. He's a guy who can get you back into the game and put away games. That's what they're going to need from him down the stretch. Shot from Capers, no good. Gets his own rebound. Dexter Williams Jr. guarding him. Gets it to Merrick Isom. Back to Forte, using that spin move, tries to put it up. Nothing, and a rebound goes to Braylon Rayson. Rayson to Jalen Bland, the shot, and that one hits right rim and out. A.J. Gaines Jr. goes right into the defender and one. Strong move by A.J. Gaines.
That's experience on the floor right there for the London Lightning, and when you have Gaines and Moon and a couple of other guys, I mean, really taking charge on the floor.
We mentioned it, 4th in the National Basketball League of Canada at 8.2 rebounds per game is A.J. Gaines. He can fly with the best of them. Last season we saw his ups and his ability to play above the rim, and he's doing it all this season at 17.4 points a game. Jalen Bland with Forte on him. Bland right in his face. Has a couple words for Forte as well.
That'll be an interesting dialogue as this game progresses between the two.
Nice pass from Forte down low, and Capers can't get it to go, looking for a foul. Jalen Bland goes past Forte. Out to Josiah Moore, sweeps and goes by. Out to Dexter Williams Jr. Good ball movement from the Sudbury 5. J.R. Holder freezes there for a second, and J.R. Holder gets it to go. Nice take.
Nice move, shifting off to his right, then cutting back in. This is the start that we talked about, Nick. So important for the Sudbury 5.
Merrick Isom with the ball at the top. It's kind of stuck there. Xavier Moon, deep 3. Big rebound, Dexter Williams Jr. That's what the 5 needs, some good defensive rebounding, not allowing second chance points. Braylon Rayson goes right to the hole, crashing into the stanchion. He appears to be okay, but another nice take, and They're not settling for threes. They're taking the open looks that they're getting, but they're also not settling for just three-point shots or outside twos at least.
No, they're driving to the cup, and the thing is their aggressiveness is paying off with that 9-point lead here with just over 5 minutes to play at a timeout in this game. So give the Five credit. This is what I would have written up. I would have prescribed this kind of start, and I'm sure that Coach Logan Stutz now wants to try and pace his staff to try and get out of the half, get a bit of a break, because the thing is there's no point in running these guys to the point of exhaustion on the floor. So be sure to utilize what you've got on the bench and mix and match as well, because he's quite familiar with this London lineup and being able to play up to their strengths.
That's a great point, because you're off to a great start, 25-16 in this first quarter, but we need sustainability if you're going to continue to win this game, and against a London Lightning team that won't be out of any game. They're great on defense and pretty good on offense as well. So you got to just keep doing what you're doing, and you're not going to get those 139-point games that we've seen earlier in the season. They just don't have the depth in scoring that they had earlier with guys like Marlon Johnson, but expect to be in those 105, 110 point per game ranges and play defense. That is the biggest thing, is defense is going to help this team go a long, long way.
Well, after Xavier Moon, who's averaging over 20 points a game, you've got 5 players in their teens at just over 11, 13, 17, and again, they've got the scoring depth, and that's what you have to neutralize if you're the Sudbury Five.
Busy weekend here at the Sudbury Arena. Sudbury Wolves played last night against Sault Ste. Marie. Tonight it's a Sudbury 5 game. Then the Crew here has a quick turnaround because it's a 2 o'clock start for the Sudbury Wolves tomorrow. Braylon Rayson at the free throw line gets the first one to fall. Sudbury 5 averaging 119 points a game this season. That is first in the National Basketball League of Canada. London's third at 110 points a game.
But you say 119 points and 11-9 with their record. So issues defensively in being able to control, especially the fourth quarter for the Sudbury Five.
A foul call there. It'll be London ball out of bounds behind the net.
And the foul going out to Josiah Moore.
Jalen Tate inbounding it for the Lightning, gets it out top to Moon. 4:50 left to go in quarter number 1. AJ Gaines, the fadeaway no good, ball drops to J.R. Holder. Don't think that Jalen Bland or Braylon Rayson will get much of a breather in this game tonight unless it's a blowout. Either way, Jalen Bland goes to the cup, and he's fouled. He'll head to the free throw line.
He was trying to initiate the drive, but fouled on that play by Marique Isom for London, so he takes a seat on the bench.
Well, this is the kind of strategy that you want if you're the Sudbury Five. Continue to take it to the basket to try to draw some fouls, because you slow down the pace of play then, and this in fact acts like a timeout. So yes, Jalen Bland probably used a lot of energy to get to the hole and draw that contact, but now he gets to rest a little bit at the free throw line. The rest of his team gets to rest, set up on defense, and you're not consistently running on fast break and tiring yourself out.
Yeah, that run and gun sometimes will work when you have a full bench and some good bench depth, but not tonight.
Here's Marcus Capers with the Lightning. Good play there. Tate gets it out to AJ Gaines Jr. Cross to Capers. The sweep and go by. Up high off the glass. There's a big rebound by AJ Gaines. Up and down the vertical on that man.
That's athleticism right there, Nick. Getting the ball on the rebound and going for 2 on the play.
Now must be the shoes. Jalen Bland for 3, and answer, 3's more than 2.
It must be his shoes.
Well, 4 times this season, Jalen Bland has hit 10 or more threes in a game. 3 times this season he's scored 40 or more points. And we get a foul called there on the Sudbury 5, and it looks like it's going against Braylon Rayson.
Well, he had that 46-point night against the Islanders last week.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the scoring and I'm going, wow. I mean, he's done that a couple of times this season, and he's taken over where Braylon Rayson has tapered off, and it's Braylon Rayson's turn the next time with 41 points. So regardless of who lights it up and gets over 40 points, these two guys are single-handedly taking charge of this team.
And what makes them so dangerous, and you and I have talked about this, is when Braylon Rayson takes control of the ball, as you were mentioning, it opens everything up for Jalen Bland. It allows him to find the spot that he wants and he's most comfortable with. An errant pass there from Jalen Bland to Georges Serres. Serres getting the start today. Nice pass out to Jalen Bland. Open 3. It's good. Assist to Serres. What a find.
Well, Serres had the wherewithal. He was going to drive to the cup. He decided to pass back, and lo and behold, you know, really the 5 get the necessary points that they need, but smart play. Very unselfish by Georges Serres.
Moon goes inside to Phillips, and Phillips is a big body down low, going to be tough for the 5 to control. But on the other side, tough matchup for Phillips going against J.R. Holder. Serres in there, gets a hand on it, but it will go to the London Lightning.
So you're up by 15 and you like the pace of the play right now if you're the coach and the players. Just a matter of making sure that London doesn't get involved in any kind of a run.
I'd have to think the strategy is run when you can, but slow it down otherwise. Nice pass into Phillips. And strategy usually is the same for the Lightning. They'll take advantage of you, especially with Xavier Moon on the fast break, but they like to slow it down a little bit on offense. There's J.R. Holder, 12 on the shot clock, gets it back to Bland. Bland has Phillips on him, making the move. Step back shot, it's high arcing and rattles just about touched every part of the rim, no good. Beautiful pass from Xavier Moon to A.J. Gaines Jr. threading the needle, boy.
And Moon got to the ball quicker than J.R. Holder did in terms of that rebound to make that play. That's what speed, athleticism, and experience will do in terms of points off transition.
Running downhill, A.J. Gaines Jr. Good fundamental basketball as the pass out comes around the horn to Dexter Williams Jr. That one rattles out. Couple of good looks for the 5, not falling. Marcus Capers, and Georges Serres is going to stop that fast break before anything happens. Just takes the foul. Gets Braylon Rayson back into this game as the London Lightning have now made it an 11-point deficit.
And we're not used to seeing Dexter Williams Jr. trying to light it up from 3-point territory, but close call for the Texas native.
Ball into the Lightning. 1:47 left to go in quarter number 1. There's Binney, gets it across to Tate, inside to Capers. Good defense by Jaron Skeet, sorry. Dexter Williams Jr. contesting on Tate, and they're going to say he picked up a foul as Tate got him in the air.
I hate to say or use the term he barely touched him, but he did.
It was a graze. We'll call it a graze. Now in the NBA, they've been calling these more and more on the floor. But Tate is going to head to the free throw line for 2 shots. Jalen Tate, just his 4th game for the London Lightning. Now the Lightning haven't played since last Saturday, so this is a well-rested team coming into the Sudbury 5's arena. Sudbury, as we mentioned, played on Thursday, a loss to the Halifax Hurricanes, their 2nd straight loss. These two teams will be back at it this Wednesday in London, the 5th of 6 matchups this season.
And you hate to see so many games played against your division rival so early, because you play 5 out of 6 by next Wednesday, then 1 left. The pivotal game will be back in Sudbury a little bit later on, but you kind of like to keep those games for later on in the year because they're so important.
Well, it's the first home game for the Sudbury 5 since February 19th. And so they've been some road warriors, but it's been crazy. They've only played 4 games in I think a stretch of like 17 days. They've all been out on the East Coast. An errant pass from Jaron Skeet. It's tipped out of bounds by the Lightning, so Sudbury will still have the ball with 17 on the shot clock.
I didn't like that pass attempt by Sudbury at that time. It was just too inadvertent, but Skeet, it's just like he tossed the ball away. And the thing is, you got to have more mindfulness here in terms of being able to set up your teammates.
Well, my college coach would always tell us that you never leave your feet to make a pass, so to come to a complete jump stop and then try to make a pass, if you're in the air, you're really limited in what you can do. You don't have too many options, and it still didn't deter me from making jump passes, but nice steal from Ceres comes on the weak side, a 2-on-1. Now Sudbury has to slow it down. Ceres turns it over as it goes off of Braylon Rayson and right to Tate, and a foul on Jaron Skeet.
Ceres hesitated. He looked. There were several instances there where he could have made a play, wasn't sure, held up initially, looked around trying to pass, and that was problematic with that play for number 9, George Ceres.
And with that foul on Skeet, it's bonus for the Lightning. So for the next 29 seconds, they will be in the penalty if they are fouled. Garrett Williamson, the longtime vet in this league, not playing tonight for the Lightning as the first one missed by Tate.
(7-5) Sudbury in terms of fouls early in this game, and I certainly hope that's not a sign of things to come. There's a jump ball situation there.
Now both free throws missed by Tate. And the possession arrow is with the Sudbury 5, so 27.6 seconds left. Sudbury likely to hold for what will be the last shot of this quarter, and Braylon Rayson has the ball. Directs George Ceres to clear out. He wants this one himself. Maybe a screen coming up from one of the players, or just go one-on-one. 8 seconds on the shot clock, 10 on the game clock. And good defense by Binney. It's going to go off of Braylon Rayson. Out of bounds. And Rayson not happy with that.
I guess they're trying to say that he, on the dribble, hit his knee, bounced out. Change of possession.
Well, the Lightning can cut this to single digits going into the first quarter, into the second. Here's Tate with Ceres on him, gets the up fake and one. And a beautiful shot with 0.1 seconds left in the quarter. And again, Tate's getting a 5-player to leave their feet.
And good call on that one, Nick, in terms of bringing that deficit down. 9 points right now in favor of the Sudbury 5, and Braylon Rayson still talking that thing over, that actual call over with the official. Can't figure out it. You got to move on.
And free throw good, 37-29, and that'll be the end of quarter number 1 as Ceres takes a shot after the end of the quarter. But you know, the Sudbury 5, that was a very good start. They were leading at one point, 35-20. It has been a 9-2 run since that time for the London Lightning, and they've battled back in. But Sudbury, a pretty good start for having such a short bench.
A little bit of frustration there after that call against Braylon Rayson, and he wasn't too forgiving to the official for that. That's something that you have to move on in terms of, and we've seen this, you've seen this before on the floor, myself as well, playing sports, that sometimes there is a call that you don't like, but simply you got to suck it up and move on, and not to the detriment of your team. You don't want to put your team in that position where all of a sudden you're playing out of frustration and not being more positive in terms of your efforts.
Well, unless it's in a league that you can challenge a call, you got to move on, because the ref's not going to change his mind. He's not going to be like, oh, since you said that, we're reversing the call. It doesn't happen, or rarely happens. in sports. But, I mean, Braylon Rayson off to a pretty good start for the Sudbury Five in terms of facilitating, getting to the hoop. Jalen Bland, they're going to be the cornerstones. They're going to be what you lean on down this stretch with Marlon Johnson now playing overseas. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to find that scoring. You got to almost get 20 points a game from these guys.
Okay, so now we've got the start that we wanted if you're a Sudbury 5 fan. And, of course, if you're a London fan, obviously being able to rally late here in the opening quarter is a good sign, too. Now, can the 5 maintain that momentum? As the coach said just the other day, you got to play all out for 4 quarters. Now let's see if that transpires into quarter 2. Forget about the frustration. Move on with your game and see what you can do.
Exactly. You know, the Sudbury Five, they just can't give up those offensive rebounds. They got to play on defense, play hard on defense, get those big stops, because you get those stops on defense and it really builds momentum and confidence in your team, knowing that you can get back and you can shut this London Lightning team down, a tough team to do it against. AJ Gaines Jr., you got to keep him off the offensive glass. We saw what he can do and what it can do to the bench of the London Lightning, really fire them up and start to really build momentum for this team. So we're about to get underway. Cameron Forte, who had a good start to this game for the London Lightning, back out there for the Lightning, and it will be a Lightning ball to start and this second quarter.
Let's see if J.R. Holder can pick it up and pick up some of that slack for the Sudbury Five as well and get his team back to that big lead that they had expressed early in the opening quarter.
Well, Jalen Bland, 14 points. Braylon Rayson, 14 points in quarter number 1. Cameron Forte, boy, he continues to do work on the block. That is point number 9 for him. He leads the team in scoring in this one.
Holder's got to do better than his 4 points in that opening quarter. So let's see what he can do here.
Bland tries to go right into the defense. It's batted out. And Jaron Skeet makes the right decision as the shot clock's winding down, a 5-4-3 right on cue.
That's what the Five will need here in this second quarter, and number 15 lighting it up early.
40-31 is the score in this game as we start the second quarter. There's AJ Gaines Jr. puts it up. Rebound goes to Brady Skeens. Gets it ahead to Braylon Rayson. Pass out to Jaron Skeet. Good ball movement. Jalen Bland wide open. He can make that with his eyes closed. Don't shoot it with your eyes closed, but he could make it with his eyes closed.
And that's what Jalen Bland's all about, especially from the corner. Making no mistake, and again, playing with a lot of confidence here tonight.
Gaines streaking to the rim, finishes with the right hand. You can see why London's so high on him. Not starting, but comes in off the bench, and there's a shot up, and it's going to be 3 free throws. No, they're signaling for 2. And Braylon Rayson looking for a high five from the official. Likely not going to get it.
Cameron Forte getting a scolding from one of his teammates, Marvin Binney, as a result of what went down on that play. So Rayson to the foul line, but you talk about the confidence. Sometimes you watch the warm-up and you see the guys just light it up, and sometimes it just doesn't carry over to the game. But earlier on tonight, you're watching Rayson, you're watching Jalen Bland, and I only wish that I had that kind of athletic ability playing high school basketball when I did. And of course, I wasn't in the ranks of what you did here in Sudbury, Nick, but it's just one of those things that, you know what, you just marvel at their skill set.
It honestly, if you're a teammate, if you're playing against them, there's just the respect that you have for these guys because they just work on their craft and continue to get better. And you just hope for the best in their careers. Braylon Rayson, Jalen Bland, 2 seasons with the Sudbury Five, and they have represented this community very, very well. As with, you know, Xavier Moon, Garrett Williamson is due for the London Lightning. There's a shot, AJ Gaines Jr. We said it at the start of the broadcast. He will beat you on the glass. He'll beat you inside, outside. He is a tough, tough contender to go against. Look at that pass from Jalen Bland inside. Gets it back out. Joey Puttester from 3 from Nipissing University.
North Bay's going crazy right now with that shot. And it's great to see Joey get some court time out there, and he tries to contribute as much as he can. As we've said before, this guy will be coaching one day in this league. He just has that wherewithal about what to do and how to do it.
As parents make the trip from North Bay for pretty much every single game, very supportive family, and pretty cool to play very close to your hometown. Have your friends and family travel over into Sudbury for the game. And Puttester 1 for 1, played some good minutes on Thursday against the Hurricanes, and there's a shot, and that one is good from Green. Braylon Rayson, cross-court pass, Joey Puttester, the sweep and go by. Puttester up high off the glass, that one no good. Right idea, Gaines to Tate, the shot, that one short. Rebound goes off Holder, who saves it off his own teammate Skeens. Right idea, just wrong jersey.
Good effort, though, by J.R. Holder in this game. As the 5 right now trying to increase their lead.
Again, Forte on that block. That one short. Skeens with the rebound.
That's another 5 member that's got to pick it up here in this second quarter and third quarter as well. Brady Skeens in terms of going all out defensively and helping out.
Jalen Bland with the ball. Shot no good from Jalen Bland. The Sudbury 5 play, I believe, 7 home games in March. AJ Gaines Jr. is fouled, and they're going to wave off that basket, although it would have been a nice one. And that's just the athleticism that we see from this guy. He can throw it down, he can get up and fly. Frequent flyer miles, he's got quite a few points.
Yeah, there was a foul on that play, and of course negated a great scoring opportunity for London.
Moon, the pass is deflected and picked off by J.R. Holder. And we're going to have a foul that goes to Green.
Back-to-back fouls for Tyrell Green.
And so it will be Braylon Rayson with the ball out of bounds for the Sudbury 5. 48-39 with 8:34 remaining in this first half. Good start from the Sudbury 5, and they've been able to keep the London Lightning from going on any serious run in the second quarter. Good run at the end of the first quarter from the Lightning. There's Brady Skeens, who continues to lead the league in field goal percentage. That one doesn't fall. Xavier Moon, the quick pull-up, and his shot is smooth and something to watch.
Not liable to miss from that distance.
Big up screen from Skeens. Rayson drops it off to Skeens, and he gets it to fall somehow. Moon had a hand on the ball.
Yeah, Moon made an excellent defensive play. Just wasn't strong enough to keep it from out of going into the cup at the time, but good effort by the 5 offensively.
There's shot, another one from Moon is good, and you can see why he is leading this team 20 points a game. He looks pass first, but he can score the ball. Jalen Bland is going to get called for an offensive foul, and he's not happy with that.
This game opening up right now, the 5 liked the pace in that first quarter, but now it's starting to gain a little bit of momentum, and I don't know if they want to get involved in that run and gun style against London.
Joey Puttester got a couple minutes, good shift for him. 3 points, that made three-pointer. He'll come out, and Dexter Williams Jr. in for the Sudbury 5. And the 5 running a zone defense. J.R. Holder nearly tripped the guy he was guarding, Isom. Pass into Forte, the floater, no good. It's out to J.R. Holder, who has done a good job on the defensive glass. Fast break, Dexter Williams Jr. off the glass, and it's blocked by Cameron Forte. What a save. Xavier Moon. And AJ Gaines Jr. out and running. It's going to go out of bounds off of Gaines.
Talked about that save, Nick. There are little plays in this game sometimes that all add up to a difference on the scoreboard. Points off transition, a save at one end, come right back down, put something in. And you have to appreciate that from a coaching perspective, because sometimes it's the little things that make a big difference by the end of the game.
Braylon Rayson with the ball, loses the handle, picks it back up. Jalen Bland, 10 on the shot clock. He'll put a straightaway 3 in the hoop. Another good shot from Jalen Bland.
Yeah, he'll beat Forte on that type of play anytime.
Xavier Moon. His pass is picked off. Here's Jalen Bland trying to go behind the back. He's fouled by A.J. Gaines.
Yeah, that was a high-risk maneuver by Jalen Bland, but he gets fouled in the process anyway. It just amazes me sometimes when I see these guys with their behind-the-back passes. They'll skip a pass or else they'll just pass off blindly. And again, they just have a sense of where their teammates are supposed to be on the floor.
Jalen Bland now at the top, going between the legs, the floater. That one's short, and Isom with the rebound. Here's Cameron Forte. Forte, we talked about it, likes to handle it on the fast break, and he'll just back you down and make you unaware where you are on the court. And he's, before you know it, is right underneath the hoop. Jalen Bland, a little flavor.
Well, J.R. Holder did the right thing at that time, passing it over to Jalen Bland. That 5 lead back up to 11 now.
Forte is going to get called for an offensive foul.
Yeah, they're going to go for a quick substitution here. They got to get Forte off. It's 4-3 fouls or 5-3 fouls in favor of London right now with just under 6 minutes to play here in the second. We got a timeout.
Yeah, the media timeout. 56-45, and well, the 5 lead hasn't really increased, but the London Lightning haven't really got back into it in the second quarter. But we saw in the end, the tail end of that first quarter, how London really started to battle back. What do you know, the 5 got to do down the stretch to keep the lead to where it is.
Well, you know what? I like this 11-point lead right now. 6 minutes to play. And again, the 5 hasn't wilted under the pressure that London started to try to exemplify by the end of that opening quarter and the early stages of the second. So they've held their own. So again, 11 points right now, 6, I mean, regardless if it's 11 points, 10 points, or 9, or whatever type of lead you have going into the locker room, they've done themselves really well, the 5 have, in terms of coming out with the game plan, doing what they have to do. And it's still a long game. We're far, far, far away from this game being over, and it's a matter of carrying this into quarters 3 and 4 as well. So far, so good. And if you're London, what's 11 points really? They've got the type of team that can, it's like a tap. You can just turn it on. They've got that offensive prowess. We've seen the guys on the floor right now, and sometimes teams can really turn up the heat in that third quarter.
And you know, the Sudbury 5, the positive note for them is their shooting has been very good in this first half. And with a smaller lineup, you need your guards to be on and hitting, and they're moving the ball very well. They're getting everyone involved on offense, and I think that's the biggest thing, is everyone's touching the ball so nobody kind of gets out of it and kind of zones out. They're all involved. Jalen Bland off to a wonderful start in this first half, and Braylon Racing as well facilitating. But Jalen Bland leading the way, 23 points, 7 made 3-pointers, and again, 4 times this season he's hit 10 or more. He tied his Sudbury 5 franchise record with 11 earlier this season. He's done that twice.
You've got the best guards in the league right on this floor tonight.
Bland, the shot, that one just as we were talking about him, jinxed him a little bit. And Xavier Moon, the pull-up shot, and that one rattles around. Big rebound from Randy Phillips. Has it knocked away momentarily. Back out shot is short, and a big board there by Jalen Bland, nearly stepped out of bounds.
We didn't want to put too much pressure on the guards, Nick. I mean, after all, they have been playing well.
Yeah. Braylon Racing, 16 points, 4 assists. Brady Skeens, the smooth little English there.
Yeah, that was hard fought. He had to go through 2 defenders on that one to negotiate that basket, but a pivotal one for the Sudbury 5, up by 13.
Marik Isom with it up top. Marcus Capers coming into this game averaging almost 14 points a game. He'll get fouled there and head to the free throw line.
So the 5 with their 4th foul so far in this tightly played contest, still up by 13. Big month of basketball for the Five, big month of basketball for the NCAA, big month of basketball everywhere. So we'll try to keep on top of everything that's going on. So any early indications in terms of March Madness? You get that bracket. Have you thought about the bracket at all?
I've thought about it. This is around the time where I really start to watch NCAA. You know, you get the weekend games and the conference tournaments, and that's where I kind of do most of my research. I usually wait a little bit too late, but I mean, Kansas, I got to think, is the favorite. They've got some studs inside and outside that can beat you. Baylor, I don't think will go too far in the tournament. They've slipped off as of late, and I just don't think that they can score with the best in the NCAA. But it's one of the more interesting years because I don't think there is a real clear-cut number one, or where you have those those 4 number 1 seeds that are just above and beyond the other teams. Gonzaga, it might be a consensus, a number 1 seed, but just they could be out in the first round. They could go all the way. It's really tough to see, and you see the top teams in the NCAA. Okay, this team's our number 1, and then they lose the next week. And Duke, at one point in the season, we're like, okay, this could be the Duke of old, and then they lose 2 straight games, or to a team that is unranked. And
well, I've been doing a lot of reading on that as well. And the thing is, I thought for sure that Duke would be able to become the dominant force as tradition would have it. But again, it's like you said, I think a lot of brackets are going to be ripped apart early in this tournament this year. So it is a lot of fun. It's an incredible tournament, and a lot of basketball fans can hardly wait for the opening tip-off.
Braylon Rayson goes right to the cup with the scoop. Beautiful lay-in by Braylon Rayson. Back up to 15 points for the Sudbury Five. They've increased their lead, tying their largest lead of the game. Randy Phillips backing down his man. It's out, and Brady Skeens the rebound, a chance to increase the lead for the Sudbury Five.
Huge rebound by Skeens on that play.
Ceres can't get that rebound, but Skeens does. Land gets it to Dexter Williams Jr. DWJ in the corner. No J there. And Xavier Moon with the rebound. Gets it to AJ Gaines. Up top, Green. Back to Moon. Inside, it's Capers. And he's going to get called for a travel. Took the steps before putting the ball down.
Moon's got that incredible fast break speed, Nick.
Oh, look at that take. Braylon Rayson, boy, oh boy. Beautiful.
Rayson's not as quick as Moon. He's got the skill set, but Moon just seems to be able to turn it on into that extra gear.
And that's what's so hard to guard. That's why it's so hard to guard Xavier Moon, because you see him consistently, those pull-up shots that he's knocking down. And when you have that, you have to honor the shot. So when you go to guard him close, he's going to blow by you. And that's the danger with him, because you don't really know what to do as a defense. In my opinion, I say you play tight and then just a quick help side for the next man behind your guy if he does blow by you, because it doesn't seem like he's really taking it to the cup too much, and he has hit his outside shots. But yeah, you're exactly right. Braylon Rayson, a hard time sticking with Xavier Moon. Really, anyone in this league is going to have a tough time with Moon.
Some great guard play here tonight, and we're seeing it, and the crowd certainly appreciative of the Sudbury Five effort. A 15-point lead with just a couple of minutes to go here in quarter number 2 at the Sudbury Community Arena. Glad you could join us here tonight. And don't forget, we're back at it next week with more NDL action. Shaping up to be a very, very busy month for the Sudbury Five.
And, we talked about exciting time basketball-wise this month, but really an exciting time here in Sudbury. Yeah, the Sudbury Wolves season winding down, the final game on March 20th. So they'll be heading into playoffs just as the Sudbury Five season starts to wind down in early April. Still a couple games to make up for the Sudbury Five, as the St. John's Edge games were postponed earlier, so they'll have to make those games up. But a very, very crucial time. A lot of games in March, quite a few games in April as well. So as the season starts to warm up a little bit, so does the basketball and hockey. J.R. Holder, 3:20 left to go in quarter number 2. Sudbury Five lead this one by 15 points. Braylon Rayson has Moon on him. Rayson, the hesitation dribble, step back shot is short, and Gaines with the rebound. He is out and running. And a big block there. Josiah Moore coming in from behind and swatting it into the Sudbury 5 bench.
Yeah, that is certainly a statement play by Moore. And it looked like that drive was going to connect to the cup, but out came the swat. Big defensive play for the 5, the best so far in this first half.
Yeah, you got a good look at it there on the replay. Great job by our crew. Slowing it down, showing that Josiah Moore block. Capers, 8 on the shot clock. They got to get something going. Tate with the ball, 4 on the shot clock. Tate, the shot is good with a hand in his face. Josiah Moore, and clutch shot from Tate.
That's what the Lightning need right now. They're down by a dozen with 2.5 to go. The 5 come right back.
George Ceres, the 3. It's a 5-4-3 from the Sudbury native.
And George has got to be happy with that, just like Joey Puttister early, when you're getting a local contribution, some 3-pointers, some good defensive play.
Yeah, the Northern Ontario boys combining for 9 points already, and a tough shot by Moon. That's what I'm talking about. How do you got to go out and play that shot, but he's so quick that he's going to blow by you. Braylon Rayson, the crossover into the key, and Rayson again short on the shot. Here's Jalen Tate, gets it back out to Xavier Moon. Inside to Capers, has Bland on his back. Capers can't get it to fall, and he's going to get a technical foul. And if Capers had just turned around and got into the play, he probably would have been able to steal the pass, because it looked like Josiah Moore threw the pass right by his face to Jalen Bland.
Coaching staff not happy with that one. That's a matter of discipline. You can't afford to be doing that in a tight game like this.
Head coach Doug Plum, Lightning's 3rd head coach in just over a year, was a star guard for the University of British Columbia before heading overseas to play professionally in Europe. Has some high expectations for a team that has won a lot of championships in this league. It seems like every second year they're in the finals or winning it. Not the season that they wanted perhaps last year, but that comes with some coaching turmoil. Head coach Elliot Etherington was the coach for the Lightning for a portion of last season, now the assistant coach for the Sudbury 5, and taking on a little bit more coaching duties with head coach Logan Stutz, taking on that player coach role. So whenever Stutz, if he does come into the game, the head coaching duties fall on the shoulders of the very capable Elliot Etherington. Look at that play. J.R. Holder off the inbounds, catching the defense sleeping.
That's what I was alluding to in that first quarter about J.R. Holder and some of that razzle-dazzle that we saw earlier on in the season.
Marcus Capers trying to find Randy Phillips, but it's over his shoulder. Tough catch to make, and just as I said that, Braylon Rayson makes it. That one's going to be goaltending. They're going to call it. It hit the backboard first. And the Sudbury 5 lead up to 68-51, a 17-point lead, the largest of the game.
Yeah, the 5 not notorious for a lot of those long passes from back to front court, but almost connected.
Here's Randy Phillips up to Moon. They run a cycle play, a couple handoffs, and a shot easy. Moon just in rhythm. It's like he's practicing out there. Here's Braylon Rayson up top with the ball, trying to answer right back on Moon. The step back, he passes it to George Ceres, up fake, step back. Ceres to Jalen Bland, 5 on the shot clock, hits the rim and goes out of bounds. 27 seconds left in this quarter.
Well, Moon certainly abides by that very familiar basketball saying, he got game, because he brings it both offensively and defensively for the London Lightning. And it's just like the Braylon Raysons and the Jalen Blands of the Sudbury 5. There's that one individual that's a standout.
Well, 25 seconds left. 3 seconds separate shot clock from game clock. And the London Lightning trying to get back a little bit closer before the end of this half. Here's Xavier Moon with the ball. Xavier Moon to the cup. Uses the body to shoulder off the defender. 5 seconds left. Josiah Moore puts up the shot, a long three, and it goes. Josiah Moore plus the contact. They don't call the foul, but they call it good. What a shot, Josiah Moore, as the time winds down in this first half of play. And you look at the score, 71 points on the board, on pace for 142. Take a look at this shot. Josiah Moore drawing the contact as he gets the shot off. It is good. Hands are up, and it is a big lead for the Sudbury Five in this first half.
Huge. I mean, how else would you describe that right now? It's pretty well a good indication of what the Five have been able to do in that opening half right now. Little sluggish at the end of the opening quarter, managed to sustain that momentum in the second quarter. And look, you have the lead. You've seen some razzle-dazzle from J.R. Holder, Josiah Moore with that clutch bucket. And you know what? This is what the Five need to at least get that ball rolling. They got a bit of a break right now, Nick. It's a matter of recharging the battery, and they've got to come out strong again in the third quarter, try to maintain that momentum, and I'm sure they'll have to hold off the Lightning because they'll be mounting a charge in the fourth.
And how about that start from Jalen Bland? He has just been knocking down threes, and really when the offense went into a bit of a lull, he picked them up and continued. Braylon Rayson has played well as well.
And you know what? When you have your two key guards like that, lighting it up for the Sudbury Five, it's a matter of maintaining that momentum. And the thing is, that's what they needed. I mean, coming off some tough losses, Nick, I mean, really to have these guys step up, J.R. Holder as well, and started to get some effort from the bench as well also helps.
Well, the Sudbury Five lead this one 71-56 at halftime. We'll be right back with the Brandon Scott halftime show and more basketball here in Greater Sudbury.
Welcome back to the show. The Five are finally back home since February 19th with stops on the road in Moncton, on the island, and in Halifax. In this episode, I will take a look at behind the scenes of the Sudbury Five, starting with the marketing manager, Miranda Sway-Boivin, and what a typical game day looks like in her eyes.
So, I mean, I typically get here around 8 o'clock in the morning on a game day, getting everything ready, and lots of my team take care of lots of things, so just making sure all of that is in place for the game. And then I'm typically in the lobby during the start of the game, just making sure everybody's got their tickets and there's no issues there, and then just making sure everything's good everywhere else. So
now, Miranda, it's no secret the Five have grown in popularity since joining the league, but how much has this team really developed from year one to year two?
It's grown tremendously. It's really exciting to see the community get behind it and to see their support. And when the players are in the community meeting with fans, it's really fun to see their excitement getting to meet the players.
What would you say is the funnest part of your job working in sports?
Our halftime games are really fun for our team to come up with. The baby race was one that was very successful and was a lot of fun to plan and to watch. Even our special games when we do those, so the video game themed game that'll be coming up in March. We have the crossover game that we had in February, and we also did the Five high school tournament, which was a different experience. So getting to do all kinds of different events with the team is really fun.
The Five recently had their crossover night. What planning did you do ahead of time to pull off this theme night?
I mean, initially last year when the season started, there was a bit of a crossover between the fan base, but it seems to have kind of differentiated itself. There is some crossover in terms of it, but we wanted to kind of introduce the Five fans to the Wolves and the Wolves fans to the Five, so we're just going to have a lot of fun with that game, mash the two game experiences together, and just have lots of fun.
That was friend of the show, Miranda Swain-Boivin. Stay tuned for more of the Brandon Scott Halftime Show coming up right after this. Welcome back to the second half of our show. With the season a little over halfway done, let's check out the Central Division standings to find out where everyone sits. At the top of the Central, we have the London Lightning, who have a 14-7 record coming into the matchup, who enjoyed the feel of the Budweiser Garden so far this year with an astonishing 10-3 home record this season, while only 4-4 on the road, so that's something to look out for coming down to the stretch of the season. Behind them is the Sudbury Five, whose electrifying offense leads us to an 11-9 record. We currently have two players in the top 5 points per game leaders in the league, with Jalen Bland averaging 25.3 points per game and Braylon Rayson averaging 21.2. In third place, the Windsor Express, who started strongly but now sit 2 games back of the Five. In their meeting so far against Sudbury, they are 1-4, meaning their last 2 meetings in April are just that much more crucial as they are fighting for the 2 playoff spots available in the Central Division. Lastly, the KW Titans, who have played more games than everyone else in the league with 23, sits with a 7-16 record and would have to really start pulling their socks up for a crack at the playoffs at this point in the season. They showed times of brilliance, but it looks like this could be a retooling year in Kitchener-Waterloo. As of right now, it will be the Bolts and the Sudbury Five meeting for the best-of-5 opening round of playoffs, but till then, to cap off our show, the Sudbury Five got out in the community and met our good friends at Pine Hill Lumber. Let's go check it out.
Hello, welcome to Pine Hill Lumber.
Here we got a couple of brooms. We got a red one. We got more of an old-fashioned one. Looks kind of like a witch's broomstick, but either would work perfectly for your needs to sweep the competition up.
Welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. Nick Liard, Rick Wyman. If there's one thing I've learned in life, it is that I am wrong a lot. Earlier in this game, I said, expect 105 points, 110 points. But already the Sudbury Five are on pace for 142, leading this one in going into the third quarter, 71-56, and a very, very good start from the Sudbury Five.
Well, that's because the pace initially in that first quarter, Nick, it dictated perhaps a lower scoring game than what we've seen in the past. But as it stands right now, the teams are getting a little bit more self-confident. They're lighting it up, and a little bit of run and gun out there. So we'll have to see if maybe the Five can slow things down, have London play to their style, whereas London wants to pick it up. They want to get into a shootout because they know the Five can't match up simply because of the physicality in the bench.
At 44 of the 71 points scored by Braylon Rayson and Jalen Bland. Jalen Bland, as we get underway in this third quarter, leading the way, Bland is at 24 points on 7 made threes in that first half. And just as we talk about it, it goes just off a shot by Bland. There's J.R. Holder, the second chance opportunity. Another rebound by Brady Skeens. And a third possession for the Sudbury Five. George Ceres, the up fake, behind the back pass to Braylon Rayson in the corner. The shot, what a play.
George Ceres, magnifique. What a pass to Braylon Rayson to set up that bucket. You can't script that stuff. You can't.
And picking up where they left off in that first half, the three by Josiah Moore to beat the buzzer. And the first possession is a made three from the Sudbury Five. There's Tyrell Green, no good, and we're going to have a foul going to the Sudbury Five. I believe on the Sudbury Five. No, it's on Marcus Capers of the London Lightning. Looked like a bit of battling on both sides, but they do call the foul against Capers.
Let's see if the Five can get some momentum going here, build upon that lead. They're really taking it to London. Great shooting percentage so far from the floor. A couple of veterans leading, and Braylon Rayson, Jalen Bland.
Both teams are shooting 51% in that first half. The difference, the Sudbury Five are 14 of 29 from the three, whereas the Lightning, a good percentage, 7 for 10, but just half the made threes that the Sudbury Five have. Leading the way in that first half was Xavier Moon at 15 points. He puts up a short jimmy, no good. And a rebound comes to the Sudbury Five. George Ceres, he's going to tee it up from downtown, and Ceres, the confidence in that man.
Okay, Nick, sometimes you've got to be good to be lucky or lucky to be good. And that's what's happening right now with the three-point shooting of the Sudbury Five. It's just happening, and as you well know, some nights it doesn't. Tonight is one of those nights where they're going in.
Well, it seems like tonight the Sudbury Five are good to be good. And here's Randy Phillips inside looking for something. Puts up the right hand, no good. Big rebound, George Ceres. Ceres already on the night has 9 points. Joey Puttester got in the first half and hit a three. So the Northern Connection have combined for 12 points. And George Ceres in his first start of the season. Step back, heat jack Ceres. That one goes off of the back rim. And they're going to say a Lightning ball.
He had all kinds of time on that one. Maybe a little too hesitant in terms of the initial approach. Nonetheless, the Five with that lead right now of 21 points. This is what the coaching staff wanted coming into this game.
By far the largest lead of the night for the Sudbury Five. And the Lightning have never led. Big rebound from Skeens. And the Sudbury Five out and running behind or through the leg pass by Braylon Rayson to Jalen Bland. The three wasn't there. So they slow it down, go into J.R. Holder. Nice move there. Faked as if he was going to fade away and step through. J.R. Holder, the two.
Holder delivering like he's expected to. And Ceres getting called.
Brady Skeens, we've talked a lot about at length this season and just how impressed we are, fresh out of University of Washburn and in Kansas. And he is currently, look at that play there as the Sudbury Five, and the defense has really picked up. But Brady Skeens already 10 rebounds in this game. He's third in the league with 9.1 per game, so already over his average. Xavier Moon, second chance opportunity.
Yeah, just using that speed of his to make that play. As we've said before, he can turn it on and blow by many a defender.
Ceres loses the ball for a bit, gets it back, and an air ball. J.R. Holder there to pick up the rebound and clean up the garbage.
J.R. Holder, one of the key guys after Rayson and Bland in terms of really having to deliver for the Sudbury Five.
Cameron Forte can't get it to go, and two chances for the Lightning are missed. Rayson goes right into Green and draws the foul. He'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, and Green can't believe that one, but that is reality. So Rayson right now, as Coach Logan Stutz brings his veterans to the sideline for a momentary chat.
Rayson at 87% from the free throw line. His average up to 21.2 points a game. As I mentioned, 27 points a game in his last four played. Trails only on the team Jalen Bland, who is second in the National Basketball League of Canada at 25.4 points a game. And Bland already at that mark here tonight in the early goings of the third quarter.
Grayson, knowing that Moon of London is a dangerous individual, hustling back after making his two free throws.
Capers is going to get fouled and head to the free throw line for the Lightning, but the last couple of attempts from the Lightning, they've been hard fought, and the Sudbury Five are making them earn any points that they get.
J.R. Holder, the culprit on that play.
I said this is the fourth matchup between the two teams this season. The first game came here in Sudbury, and it was a London Lightning win, 102-98 on December 30th, one of the first games of the season.
That was a tough one.
That one was a tough one. The Sudbury Five led for most of the game, as we said. Jalen Bland just 2 points in that game, and a 4-point win as the Lightning outscored the Sudbury Five 28-21 in the fourth quarter. Then it moved to London on January 5th, a 139-136 win for the London Lightning. Then on February 13th, a 1-point win, 117-116 for Sudbury. Xavier Moon with a send back there as Braylon Rayson tried to use the body, but Moon with the block.
So right now the Sudbury Five, they want to be here at this point, this juncture right now with a 23-point lead. They want to be able to start controlling what actually goes on the floor. Remainder of the third quarter and into the fourth. They don't want to play London Lightning basketball, and they've done a good job of being able to control that flow so far.
A big steal there by Sudbury as the ball falls right into the midst of Braylon Rayson. Out to the 45, extended J.R. Holder. He knocks it down from three.
Rayson, in his mind, drew that one up. Passing off to his left, and Holder making no mistake again, delivering.
Holder is third in the league at three-point percentage at 43.8. Nice take by Cameron Forte, but he's been having no luck for the Lightning tonight. Rayson looked like he had the layup, but three is worth more than two. J.R. Holder can't get it to fall. Big rebound, Phillips. Here's Green with the ball for the Lightning. Randy Phillips takes one dribble in, then picks it up. Xavier Moon behind the back, looking for someone. That one's picked off. Big steal by Sudbury. A 3-on-1. Jalen Bland for three, no good. Georges Ceres, weak side rebound. Back to Jalen Bland for three. Again, no good. But it's going to go off the hand of Green, out of bounds, and stay with Sudbury.
Moon was awfully slow getting up off the floor. I wonder if he took a bump the wrong way. And looks like he'll go to the bench for a breather. He's played a lot of minutes so far in this game tonight. Of course, he's had to play, trying to play catch up as the Lightning trail by 26.
We're going to have a timeout on the floor, and the ball will stay with Sudbury when we come back. But at the beginning, the positive for the Sudbury Five is they've been out to good starts in every single quarter so far, the first, second, and third, and they've been able to extend this lead little by little, piece by piece. Not huge runs that they're going on, but they've been able to extend it to 26 points now.
And Nick, for those who have watched these broadcasts so far over the course of the season, we've talked about the importance of that consistency.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, you know, being able to put it all together. A lot easier said than done in some cases, depending on where you're playing, what kind of bench you've got, injuries, the flu, you name it. Sometimes there are so many mitigating factors that affect the team's performance, but for whatever reason, the Five coming off that tough loss the other day where they were just bounced in Halifax, they come back and putting forth a solid effort. Everything is going their way so far in this game, and you know, you really have to appreciate that because, as I said, some nights it's a dogfight out there. It's a struggle. You can't buy anything. Forte for London, a prime example of that. He's having a really difficult night, but you know what? For Five fans, you take what you can get.
And the London Lightning, we talked about the Sudbury Five being shorthanded, but the Lightning as well, a little bit shorthanded. Terry Thomas out, Mo Bolden out with a personal reason, and Garrett Williamson is with the team but injured. They're the all-time leader, 3 points made in the National Basketball League of Canada, so a tough one for him to be out of the lineup. But we talked about the Sudbury Five. They've dressed just 9 players, and there were some rumblings with some foul trouble that maybe, who knows, head coach Logan Stutz could suit up in the second half. So far, he's still got the sweater and the collared shirt underneath, so it doesn't look like, I mean, it's buttoned up pretty tight, so I can't tell if there's a jersey underneath, but so far, as he said, he would only play in emergency situations, and it hasn't called for it tonight. Here's George Soares, the dump-off pass to J.R. Holder, and another assist from George Soares.
Soares having a great game tonight. Got the start, and you know what? Proving his worth on the floor. Doesn't get to play a lot for the Five, but trying to make an impression on the coaching staff tonight.
There's something to be said about confidence in a player's game, and Soares is oozing it here tonight, and it helps a little bit when you know that there's not a whole lot of players that are behind you that are going to take your place. You're free to make a couple mistakes here and there and not get yanked from the game. Green with a 3-point made and a turnover by Jalen Bland trying to go through his legs. Capers gets it to Gaines. Gaines is going to get fouled. I believe George Soares.
And Braylon Rayson talking to the official about that. So Rayson gets called on that foul. It's 4-3 Sudbury fouls here in the quarter.
Ball into Jalen Tate, and the Lightning had their success with A.J. Gaines Jr. on the floor in that first half. We'll see how they use him in the second half. Trying to get him the ball, but nothing doing so far in this possession. 2 on the shot clock. Tate again puts it up. He's made some tough jimmies today.
Yeah, a nice bucket there, and of course a good one for London Lightning, down by 23. Yeah, they've got to get some momentum going if they want to make a game of this one with just over 5 to go in the third quarter.
Screen from Skeens. Bland with the ball. 7 on the shot clock. Dump off pass. Trying to find it back, and Skeens got to put it up. He does. Doesn't fall. Gains the rebound.
Too many bounces. The bounces going the wrong way for Brady Skeens.
Marcus Capers now backing down. J.R. Holder puts up the left hand. No good. Skeens another rebound. Jalen Bland one-on-one with Tyrell Green. Bland puts it up. No good. Weak side rebound. It's J.R. Holder in for the flush.
And surprisingly, lack of defense there on behalf of the London Lightning. He went in there unscathed, and Holder again delivering.
Bounce pass into Phillips, goes right into his knees. Behind the back pass from Soares. And he's going to get fouled, and some subs coming in. Cameron Forte and Marique Isom will return into the game for the Lightning as they're trying to find a spark in any capacity here in the third quarter. There's a rebound there, or the replay, sorry, of J.R. Holder going in for the dunk. Weak side rebound. You got to pick up that weak side if you're the defense, especially from where the shot went up. That's where the majority of the rebounds, if they're going to miss, are going to go. J.R. Holder in the corner. Sweeps and goes by Capers. Looking for a little bit of room. Tough shot. Good defense from London. Here's Cameron Forte. Puts it up to A.J. Gaines. The alley-oop connection.
Nice play there after Holder came up short on that effort. And quick transition. Points off transition. As we've talked before, pivotal for teams in this league. Hate to give them up like that, but the 5 back on the attack.
Josiah Moore, 8 on the shot clock, falling to the ground and hounded by the Lightning defense. Gaines picks it up, and a bit of a spark coming. There's Forte, puts it down, and a timeout for the Sudbury 5 as it's 90-69. Well, the lead is still pretty big for Sudbury, but it's been a bit of a difference in play the last minute or so from the Lightning.
Well, Coach Logan Stutt says, you know what, we got to make an adjustment here. We got to get some guys off the floor. And just in terms of the adjustments that he'd like to make, we talk about George Seres. He started this game. He's had a pretty good game, but he's not a 48-minute player.
Right.
And so you have to play George in spurts. And the thing is, right now, it could be the fact that it's maybe fatigue or anything else is coming into his play, but looking a little sluggish here of late. So now this is where your coaching savvy comes in on both sides. London gaining some momentum right now. They're only down by 21. Really, in this league, anything is possible. Plenty of time to come back and make a game of this. So really, anything is possible. So now it's a matter of the Sudbury 5 trying to come up, devise that game plan, stop the bleeding, turn things around in your favor.
But in Seres's, well, not defense, but the positive for him tonight is he's done exactly what they've been asked of him. 3-and-D, that's what you need, 3-and-D. Hit your threes, play defense, and that's exactly what he's done. He's not tried to do anything out of his comfort zone. And just on cue, as you were saying, Seres is going to be out of the game. And so they do make a sub for George Seres and bring in Josiah Moore of the Sudbury 5. And it will be Sudbury 5 basketball, but for the most part, the Sudbury 5 role players have done exactly what the coaching staff have wanted from them. J.R. Holder has been a great third scoring option in this game so far, and obviously led the way for the Sudbury 5 is Braylon Rayson and Jalen Bland. Braylon Rayson for 3 right out of the timeout, no good. Dexter Williams Jr. gets tangled up with A.J. Gaines.
And Rayson's your guy on the floor who's constantly running the offense and the defense. And the thing is, he merits more playing time simply based on his ability to run the floor. And it's not in any way slighting George Seres, but the thing is, there are some players that do play, that get more minutes than others simply because they've got the ability to be able to control that game and do what they're supposed to do out there for a concentrated effort.
Braylon Rayson got the floor general badge. And the turnover by Forte as he was falling down. The 5-player pulled the chair.
And you'll note he's always talking out there. He's always trying to direct traffic.
Little full court pressure coming from the London Lightning. Dexter Williams Jr. taking the ball up. He's going to get fouled.
Yeah, that was too easy to call on that as he was trying to drive. So Dexter right now, I mean, he's getting some minutes. Hasn't been of the best of health lately, but trying to contribute in any way he can in this game tonight.
There's Dexter Williams Jr., DWJ, takes it in. Josiah Moore, 8 on the shot clock. The little James, no good. Long pass, beautiful outlet pass from Forte to Isom, and a 2-point bucket.
Yeah, and at times you got to be better on defense to try and prevent plays like that, because if they know that there's a gap where they can go end-to-end on that, they'll do that more often than not.
Josiah Moore now to Braylon Rayson. Rayson, the blow by, the floater, it's high and good. What a nice move to get by Cameron Forte.
And he just commands so much space, his presence does. And again, being able to split that seam and get in there. Rayson having some words out on the floor.
And Capers face guarding Braylon Rayson. Right now, not allowing him to touch the ball. Good screen by Skeens. And a bad pass by Holder, who picks up the foul, and a smart one, as it was a 3-on-1 going the other way for the Lightning.
Did you see the push-off by Rayson just prior to that in terms of trying to get away from his player? You can guard, but don't get too close.
Yeah, exactly. And Capers, he's being tasked now. Capers coming out of the game, so we'll see who they put on Rayson as Rayson takes the seat as well. You mentioned it, the floor general in Braylon Rayson, everything runs through him. So if you stop him, for the most part, you stop the Sudbury 5 offense. And so far tonight, the London Lightning haven't stopped too much of Braylon Rayson or Jalen Bland. 92-73, 19-point lead. Up over 20 points at one point in the game. Jalen Tate to Tyrell Green. That shot is good, and the lead continues to shrink here in Sudbury with more than a quarter left to go. Here's Jalen Bland trying to find an outlet pass, gets it to Jaron Skeets. Hands it off to J.R. Holder. Holder goes into the middle, using the body, and he's going to get fouled and head to the free throw line. Jaron Tate with the foul.
One too many moves for J.R. Holder as he tried to go inside, tried to go outside, and again, just couldn't negotiate a play. Break for the Sudbury 5, 92-76, and you have to wonder, Nick, what's in store in the fourth quarter? Are we going to see that momentum shift on behalf of the London Lightning? Are we going to see the Sudbury 5 turn things around and slow things down to the type of 5 play that we saw in the first quarter?
You got to close out this quarter. That's the big thing. 1:10 left to go in quarter number 3. Close it out strong and keep the lead where it is. J.R. Holder now up to 22 points on the game. So the big 3 over 20 points. Braylon Rayson, Jalen Bland, and J.R. Holder.
And that's what you want from your big guys.
Moon, a quick Jimbo, and gets it to fall. Now Bland with 45 seconds left in this third quarter has Xavier Moon on him, goes behind the back. Has Isom on him, a double team, drops it in to Josiah Moore, and Moore is going to get fouled and head to the free throw line, a late whistle.
Yeah, the 5 will take that with just over 30 seconds to go, and again, London can't, and right now you take a look at the scrum on the floor, London can't afford to get sloppy if they intend to make a game of this right now, because that lead is shrunk.
And, you know, Josiah Moore did the smart thing, and that's exactly what you have to do when you see that a teammate is getting double teamed, as Jalen Bland did. 2 players converged on him, so 1 player is going to be open, but you have to find the seams and you have to find the lane, give the player a passing lane to be able to bail him out. And Josiah Moore, as Jalen Bland was cutting to the cup, Josiah Moore dove at the right angle and was able to get the pass and make a couple free throws for the Sudbury 5.
And Nick, you wonder about what's going to happen next week in London. I mean, if this game goes down to the wire, we'll soon find out. Next Wednesday is going to be quite interesting to see as the Lightning host the Sudbury 5 on their home court.
Shot no good as the Lightning were going for a 2-for-1. Well, they will likely get a possession before the end of this quarter if everything goes to plan, although they didn't hit that first shot. Bland will wind it down. 3 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here's Jalen Bland. Bland has Green on him, puts it up, and no good. AJ Gaines with the rebound. Long shot, and nearly takes out a fan, but no good. So the Sudbury 5, well, the Lightning made it a little bit closer going into this fourth quarter. It is still 95-78 for the Sudbury 5.
They're still looking for that ball, by the way. It wound up in the cheerleading section, but needless to say, Sudbury 5 started off well in that third quarter, not so good in terms of a finish in that third quarter. London trying to gain some momentum, so what we're dying to see here in just a couple of seconds as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Can the Sudbury Five slow down that type of pace in order to play Sudbury Five basketball and get control and maximize their scoring chances? Some wasted opportunities there in that third quarter. But, hey, give London credit. They've stormed back, and they've got the experience. They've got the ability to do this. And this game, by far, not over yet. Don't go away just yet. A lot of basketball still to come.
And if you're the Sudbury Five coaching staff, you have to be very happy at the third and fourth, fifth scoring options of the Sudbury Five in that third quarter, because Jalen Bland and Braylon Rayson combined for 7 points in quarter number 3. J.R. Holder started to pick it up on offense. Brady Skeens started to pick it up on defense. He's at 11 boards now, and J.R. Holder at 22 points. So Jalen Bland, who came into the third quarter at 24 points, is at 27. So if they can get it going, Braylon Rayson and Jalen Bland in the fourth, the Sudbury Five should be good. But you have to, again, and I hate to harp on it, but it starts on defense. And you're already at 95 points. You just slow down the pace of play, waste a lot of the shot clock, and then play good defense.
Well, I want to shake J.R. Holder's hand at the end of this game, because as we alluded to in the opening quarter, he's doing what the both of us suggested that he do in terms of being able to contribute offensively. And the thing is, you just can't have Jalen Bland and Braylon Rayson lighting it up game after game, because the competition will pick up on that, and your defensive schemes, your schematics are going to be altered tremendously. So good for Holder, good for George Ceres being able to contribute to Joey Puttisters and the Brady Skeens and everyone else, because really tonight they need a total team effort from the bench, 1 through 9 in terms of their starters. And if it means that Logan Stutz has to make a guest appearance, so be it, Nick.
That would make for some exciting basketball down the stretch in this fourth quarter for sure.
I think the fans would love it.
I think he would get a huge ovation coming into this game, and I think before the end of the season, it's something that we're going to see at home for sure, depending on the number of bodies for the Sudbury Five team. But you talked about George Ceres, 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, 9 points in the first start of the season. So he has really come to play. We'll see if he gets some minutes in this fourth quarter. Let's head down to court level as the Sudbury Five look to close out the win on a Sudbury Saturday night. Gaines Jr., he has something to say about it as he hits a 3 right out of the start of the corner. And it is now a 14-point game. Don't look now.
Let's see what the Five bring to the table here in terms of slowing the pace of play. This Lightning team is not to be taken for granted, because there's a tremendous amount of skill set.
Racing right in the grill of Green, and he has the green meter on his shot bar. Braylon Rayson, the big 3, 27 on the night for him. Gaines Jr. again with the 3.
Back and forth threes, and nothing but net for these guys doing what they've got to do, because they are the key individuals on the floor for both London and Sudbury.
Pass to Skeet. Skeet fakes the pass and hits the shot in the corner. That's exactly what you need from a guy like Jaron Skeet. Come out here ready to play and ready to knock down shots.
And that's a big contribution from number 10. Out on the floor, getting that 3, also playing some defense as well tonight. This is an incredible game when you take a look at the ebbs and flows of what actually happens. And as we said before, some nights everything seems to be going your way, that after some nights you just come up cold, like in Halifax the other night when the Five ran out of steam after getting off to a good start, but they're being able to try and put it together for 4 quarters tonight.
Good play inside. Forte battling for the Lightning. Sudbury over 100 points right now at 101. They average 119 a game. Jaron Skeet, a second straight 3 made.
He's delivering at the most appropriate time, Nick.
Here's Forte, the little left hand finish. And Forte battling in this fourth quarter. Here's Jaron Skeet, puts up another 3. Skeet, a heat check, no good.
And Forte was snake bit earlier on. He's catching fire here in the fourth quarter. Couldn't buy anything earlier.
You get some good position there. And Brady Skeens has to pick up the foul. You look over at head coach Logan Stutz, and he's telling the team to slow it down. And when you have a lead, yes, Jaron Skeet hit that second 3, but you don't want a shot that quick into the shot clock. Especially with no rebounders, you don't have a chance to pick up an offensive board. Jalen Bland tight on A.J. Gaines Jr., who just made 2 straight threes for the Lightning. Here's Xavier Moon, and an offensive foul is going to go against Cameron Forte, stuck the bottom out.
It's a break for the Sudbury 5. Less than 10 to go. Glad you're watching tonight. Thanks for tuning in to NBL action. More to come next week, a lot more for the month of March. And the fans here in the Sudbury Community Arena are digging what they see on the floor.
Braylon Rayson with the ball, gets the high screen from Brady Skeens. Skeens with the ball, gets it back to Rayson. With Xavier Moon on him, he takes the shot from deep, and it's a 5-4-3 from Braylon Rayson.
I want him to teach me how to do that.
It might be a little late. And they might call this one.
Oh, they're talking that things over. Forte at the bench, Rayson talking as well, questioning the referee.
And they're going to come together because they are saying 2 shots. So if they're calling a shooting foul, they do count the basket and 1. Brady Skeens went up and hit it after it hit the backboard, so a goaltending call. And the Sudbury Wolf, for some reason, coming across.
A guest appearance.
This tension as trying to intimidate the free throw shooter, Xavier Moon. It seemed to work.
It's the power of the Wolf, my friend, the power of the Wolf.
Braylon Rayson now with the ball, 17-point lead for the Sudbury 5. Rayson with it up top, goes inside to Skeens. The help side is late. Skeens inside out to Bland. For 3, long rebound comes to J.R. Holder. A battle on the ground, scramble for it. It's loose, still loose. Xavier Moon comes up with the loose ball. Goes to A.J. Gaines Jr. He's blocked. What a play by Jalen Bland. And the 5 are out and running. Foul is going to be called on Tate. And we'll see if they call continuation on that. They're going to come together once again, the refs are. But a huge block. On the defensive side, A.J. Gaines Jr. was going up to throw it down, and Jalen Bland came out of nowhere for the block behind him.
I'd like to see that one again because I swear that Gaines should have been called for traveling, but he wasn't. They let that go as he was driving, and great block as it came down the floor. So they're talking things over. This is the second time they've had the referees trying to determine what's going on.
So the discussion continues, and we're going to see if I believe they call an intentional foul. And so it'll be 2 shots and the ball for the Sudbury 5. As the refs determined there was no play made on the ball by Jalen Tate.
Just the foul.
Just the foul. Rayson makes 2 of 2, and it'll be Sudbury 5 basketball, 109-90. Sudbury 5 has scored 109 points with 8:49 left to go in the 4th quarter. J.R. Holder gets it into Braylon Rayson. Rayson spins the ball, takes the shot from very deep. That one, he's almost standing out of bounds.
He's a man of passion, a man of conviction, a man of talent, and he's doing it for the Sudbury 5 here tonight. Braylon Rayson.
A.J. Gaines Jr. gets the and 1 3. He shot that one from the Greater Sudbury logo. The disrespect.
That was almost in another area code. But Gaines, I mean, you take a look at the shooting guards here tonight and what we've seen, it's been quite the exhibition.
He was one of those guys that we said, hey, you got to watch for him off the bench. A guy who can do pretty much everything for this Lightning team, and he is leading the way for them. 23 points, 4 of 4 from the 3-point line, and an and 1 3 right back the other way. Braylon Rayson.
I got to see that one again.
He liked the way that A.J. Gaines is and 1 3 went, except he said, you know what, you didn't make the free throw. I'll show you how to do it.
Braylon Rayson never ceases to amaze, and again, I mean, London single-handedly letting this guy dominate the game.
Rayson, the 3 and 1 is converted, and the 5 lead this one 116-93. Forte blocked by Skeens, one of the top shot blockers in this league, gets it done again.
And Nick, how do you even begin to defend Rayson with the type of game that he has tonight?
You can't. It doesn't matter how far out you defend him, he is going to hit when he is hot. He is hot. MVP 4-3.
Well, I'm surprised the chants haven't started already.
A big
Great
save, great play. Jaron Skeet up ahead to Bland, 1-on-3. He's got to slow it down, looking for some help. Bland controls it, gets it over to Rayson. Rayson, I don't know if he's going to shoot from there. That one might be a little tough, but I wouldn't be surprised if he tries one from the 5 logo. Rayson again for 3. That one short, the heat check, no good. Shot up top, Xavier Moon gets an answer, and it is a 3-point competition here in Greater Sudbury. Now, Rayson is up to 45 points on the night.
And I thought the 5 wanted to avoid this run and gun back and forth with London in this quarter.
The franchise record is 49 points set by Braylon Rayson just a season ago, their first.
Yeah, Rayson can't defend on that one. Certainly height difference as far as Forte and Rayson concerned, but 5 will take it back up. 119-98 with just over 6:40 to go here in the game.
Jaron Skeet with the ball has A.J. Gaines Jr. on him.
Slow it down. Whoop.
And we're going to have a jump ball called.
Got stuck in between the backboard and the rim momentarily.
Braylon Rayson, 49 points last season against the Windsor Express, his former team. He also has 14 field goals made, which is, 14 field goals made, which is just 3 off of his record set last season once again in that same game at 17. Rayson puts it up, can't get it to fall, looking for the foul call. Up ahead, Marique Isom with the field goal good.
Well, both teams over at 100 points, Nick, so break the bank if they have to right now. They've hit the magic numbers.
6 minutes left to go. Halfway through quarter number 4, Jalen Bland puts it up, no good. Brady Skeens can't get the putback to go, but Marique Isom picks up the foul.
Good effort there by Skeens, and London right now picking up their 4th foul of this quarter. So 4-4 in the foul category and a 19-point lead. And while they haven't disappointed, the two teams have not disappointed here in the 4th quarter. I didn't expect it to be as wide open, but needless to say, it's still a comfortable lead for the Sudbury 5. Just a matter of hanging in there and holding on. I guess you'll have to go bucket for bucket with the London Lightning to keep this at a reasonably good spread in order to preserve the victory.
Well, and how about Braylon Rayson coming into the 4th quarter? He was at 27 points. He scored 18 points through half of a 4th quarter to sit at 45 points on the night. And in a night where you're on a 2-game losing streak and you need your big dogs to step up, they have been barking tonight.
And the 5, oddly enough, from the free throw line have only missed 1 opportunity. Rayson 9 for 9, Bland 3 for 3, Holder 4 for 4, and Josiah Moore 1 for 2. So to miss only 1 free throw is a bonus for the Sudbury 5 in this game tonight.
Those are the things you look at the stats sheet at the end of the game, and those are things that can win and lose you games. And key free throw shooting, which the Sudbury 5, they don't get to the line a whole lot, but they have very good shooters, so they do tend to knock down a lot of free throws. But the Sudbury 5 are playing something very similar to a London Lightning game where they're just, they're limiting their opponents in terms of scoring and getting to the free throw line at the same time, making high percentage shots. And I mean, Braylon Rayson, we talked about it, but how do you guard this guy? You really can't. He goes inside, outside, and you draw a double team, and he's just going to make a smart pass out of it.
And fans really loving what Braylon Rayson brings to this franchise. Last year, the MVP. This year, starting to heat up, as always, along with Jalen Bland, providing that 1-2 punch offensively for the 5. And as they well know, come playoff time, everybody's got to be firing on all cylinders. And the thing is, with the holders and the bench and what have you for the 5 and for London as well, a short series can be over rather quickly unless everyone plays collectively.
Well, Rayson played MVP like last season, won the MVP, went over to China, played overseas. AJ Gaines Jr. just get out the way for that one.
He's showtime, AJ Gaines, and having a few words.
But Braylon Rayson down in Texas, head coach Logan Stutz made the trip in the offseason to make sure the Sudbury 5 got their MVP back. He said there's some unfinished business that they have. And it looks like that Rayson by himself here tonight is trying to take care of that, along with Jalen Bland and J.R. Holder. And we got a foul coming. Look like Jaron Skeet on the backside picked up the foul.
Well, Rayson from Dallas, of course, I'll have to ask him if he's ever been to Billy Bob's in Fort Worth. I'm sure he has. It's perhaps one of the largest bars ever in North America. Nick, next time you're in the Big D, you've got to check it out. They actually have bull riding and dance lessons as well. Everything that you need to be a real cowboy in Dallas, they've got at Billy Bob's.
Well, you don't need dance lessons. What are you doing there? You're an expert in all facets of the dance, as they say. Nice take from Xavier Moon. It's a 121-104 lead for the Sudbury 5. Still plenty of time left to go in this fourth quarter of play, 121-104. And the pass goes into the feet of Skeens and taken away by the Lightning. AJ Gaines going to the cup right at Skeens. Wild shot, no good, gets his own rebound. Underneath, straight up defense, It rattles in and goes in. Timeout, head coach Logan Stutz of the Sudbury 5. It's a 15-point lead.
Yeah, he's decided that, okay, if we can't slow things down on the floor, let's slow things down and do what we do and draw up some schematics here with a couple of minutes to go in this game. Gaines playing really providing some offensive prowess for the London Lightning in this game. And, you can never underestimate some of the players that London has on their roster regarding the ability to play offense and get the team back in accordingly. Because, I mean, after all, that lead, which is now 15 points, a lot healthier for the Sudbury 5 earlier on. I mean, they have yet to give up the lead in this game, but it's a matter of keeping pace with London.
Well, AJ Gaines at 27 points, Xavier Moon at 26, but then you look at the way that they're shooting the ball, and AJ Gaines at 11 for 16 from the field, 4 of 4 from the three-point line. Xavier Moon, 11 of 17, so they are shooting very high percentage shots and making a good percentage of them.
Well, pivotal here in the next 4.5 minutes. These two teams, the veteran presence of Rayson and Bland, and Rayson's got to be tired. He hasn't missed too much time on the floor in this game, but again, he controls the play. He is the key man. Bland, great day at the office as well, as you had said, 24 points. It'll be an interesting 4.5 minutes.
Here's Braylon Rayson, the defending league MVP with the ball, gets it to Jaron Skeet, who's come off the bench and played pretty good.
Kill that clock.
Now Rayson back with the ball, 9-8 on the shot clock. has Isom on him. Step back for two, no good. Big rebound, Brady Skeens. Those are huge. The second chance points up, and Skeens with another tip in. Missed from Bland, and Jaron Skeet smart to pick up the foul on Xavier Moon as the Lightning route and running. 4:05 left to go.
Well, the Five with a couple of chances to try to salt away this game with some extra points to no avail. They're sixth in this quarter right now to London's 4, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Sudbury 5 had 6 team fouls. So the next one will put the Lightning in the bonus, and they will shoot free throws. Capers with the ball, 10 on the shot clock. Capers spinning, backing his man down, goes up, no good. Capers battling with it, and Skeens comes away. Up ahead, Xavier Moon tips it into the second front row. Good idea from Skeens. The outlet pass up to Braylon Rayson.
Yeah, Rayson, the intended receiver on that play. To no avail, got knocked away.
Skeens now with 15 rebounds, holding down the fort on the defensive end. Here's Rayson now with the ball, draws the double team, tiptoes the line. Good ball movement around the top. Skeet hits the front rim, can't get it to go. And another chance for the Lightning to score. AJ Gaines Jr. 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. And what a game he's having, 30 points.
Wow, he just held up and managed to get his 3 right now to make things rather interesting. 121 to 109 with just over 3 to go.
Splitting the defense. Braylon Rayson up, it rattles. Skeens battles for it, and they're going to say it's off of Marique Isom, out of bounds. Sudbury 5 basketball. That possession continues to stay with the 5 because of Brady Skeens.
Break for the 5. They'll slow things down here. Rayson.
Up in number 47 for number 2. 2 away from tying the franchise mark at 49 points.
And with the night he's having tonight, Nick, why not go for it? There's a slap, and Rayson gets the foul.
Now Marcus Capers took the hard foul, and that'll send Capers to the free throw line for 2. And the high in the National Basketball League of Canada at 58 points by Carl English, a couple of years ago.
Logan Stutt said having played the other night was difficult in itself. He was heavier, but he said due to the physicality, take a look at the players on the floor right now. Nick, they're exhausted. And the thing is, they're reaching down and trying to pull this one out. And we've got 2:44 left to play, but the coach said, you know, unless you've actually been out there, it's a very physical game. You've got to be in shape, you've got to have the weight, and you're constantly battling.
65% from the free throw line. Capers, he knocks down 1 of 2. And this is what you work in the offseason. You work on cardio for, is these fourth quarter situations, late game. The Lightning look to battle back in this one. The Sudbury 5 look to close it out and snap a mini 2-game winning or losing streak. Here's Braylon Rayson at 47 points. The pull-up shot ties his franchise high, 49 points.
Got to go for the record. Why not? He's had a great night tonight.
If you're head coach Logan Stutz, you got to be thinking about that at 49 points for Braylon Rayson. It's going to go out of bounds. A couple subs coming in. Josiah Moore-Puttister and Jar Ceres. And Rayson will stay in as Holder, Bland, and Jaron Skeet come out. 125-110, a lead for the Sudbury 5. Back up to 15. AJ Gaines Jr. The shot no good. Rebound. Braylon Rayson can set the franchise mark with a bucket here. 49 points and counting. No Sudbury 5 player has hit the 50-point mark in the franchise's short history. And it's nearly turned over. It is. Capers ahead to Isom. Lay in good.
Yeah, that bounce pass by Rayson didn't work out too well, so they'll try again.
And drawing the double team, it's going to be a kick ball as Rayson controlling the offense, but as soon as he touches it, he's getting double teamed, and you don't want to be the team that lets him go off for 50, so they are playing some aggressive defense despite the score right now. Marcus Capers one-on-one, got to get over half, he does. Racing gets a screen up and a double team drawn, and Brady Skeens goes into the corner. Georges Serres across to Puttister, up fake, jumper from Joey Puttister, it's good. And a smart play by the North Bay native.
Puttister on that dish from Georges Serres, Northern Connection. Coming up, just over a minute to play.
Murray Kysum will get that one to fall. The Sudbury 5 playing a little bit of lack defense. Josiah Moore dribbles through the double team. Josiah Moore, he's going to get fouled and head to the free throw line.
It's great to see the local guys have success on the floor, because the thing is, you know that Georges Serres and Joey Puttister don't get the minutes that Braylon Rayson and Jalen Bland do, but when they do enjoy some success like they have tonight, it's great to see. It's a local product, and I'm sure high school basketball players seeing this say, maybe I can be out there one day representing the Sudbury 5.
And you know what, the thing that didn't have to go far from home, Georges Serres played at Laurentian University, Joey Puttister at Nipissing University, so they played OUA in their hometown. The thing is, you got to think about it. In practice, every single day, Joey Puttister is likely guarding Braylon Rayson. He is getting better every single day that he guards a player like Braylon Rayson, much like Georges Serres is probably guarding Jalen Bland in practice, and they have come to play here tonight. Jalen Tate gets the bucket. Braylon Rayson, they're telling him to clear out. Georges Serres, a double team comes, pass up ahead to Joey Puttister. He'll slow it down. Braylon Rayson not in any rush to get over half.
He's exhausted. He's exhausted.
Not sure if he realizes what he's at. Puttister goes right to the cup. Brady Skeens the putback dunk.
Skeens cashing in on the rebound. Big night for him on the boards.
And that's just the unselfish nature, as Marcus Caper puts it down, of Braylon Rayson. Could go for 50. He's more concerned about the team getting the win, and he has been team first. But yeah, he's definitely gassed. He's going to enjoy the couple days off. Here's Rayson. He's going to get fouled. 16.9 seconds left. And that won't be free throws for Braylon Rayson.
He's gassed. I mean, you take a look at some of the guys. Capers out there as well. I mean, they're suck and win tonight. I mean, what an effort by the veterans in this game. Both sides have made it entertaining and an interesting game, and a Sudbury 5 victory to go to 12-9. Now they're getting the ovation here as time winds down. Big win by the 5.
Do it. Big win. Sudbury 5 win. And the train horn sounds. That's a good thing if you're a Sudbury 5 fan. It's a bad thing for us because it's very hard to talk over. But it is a good sign, 131-119 here in Greater Sudbury. The Sudbury 5 snap a 2-game losing streak. London Lightning's 2-game win streak is snapped, and the Sudbury 5 pull a little bit closer in their division.
We talked about the importance of this, and of course it's going to carry over Wednesday in London. We'll worry about that next week, Nick. But the thing is, solid effort. Rayson, Bland, J.R. Holder really stepped it up. Brady Skeens, the bench. We talked about the importance of the bench. Short bench, tired. Serres, Puttister, the guys came through.
Yeah, and multiple players got into double-digit scoring, and you talked about it. J.R. Holder, Jalen Bland, Braylon Rayson, all over 20 points. They came to play, and on the defensive side, yes, London scored 119 points, but they got those key stops.
And you know what? This London team haven't played in a week.
Yep.
Kind of wondering if that maybe that layoff affected their performance, because we saw flashes of brilliance out there. Dying to see the rematch come Wednesday. And you know what? A lot of basketball fans will be watching that game closely.
That's it for us. A big win for the Sudbury 5, snapping a 2-game losing streak over the London Lightning, 131-119. That's it for us. Nick Liard, Rick Wyman, and the entire crew. Let's say goodnight from Sudbury on a Saturday night. Till next time, 5 fans.